Most TV produced nowadays is quite simply rubbish and moronic. That's why people choose not to watch.
Lol, yes, it's so much worse than the 70s, when we had On the Buses, Please Sir and Terry and June A.
It was of a higher quality to most of the shit which passes itself off as comedy these days. How many of those do you think are seriously going to be as fondly remembered as On the Buses in 20 years time, you fool?
Who on earth fondly remembers On the Buses?
Loads of people do. For a start, it has the nostalgic angle of featuring the Route Master buses, and who can possibly forget the iconic Blakey character? It may have been on the poor end of the carry-on seaside saucy postcard humor spectrum of comedy, but was still a damn sight more funny than the absolute forgettable shite which passes itself off as comedy these days. None of which will be fondly remembered in 20 years time, nor which will spawn 2 big feature movies.
You admit yourself it is on the poor end of the spectrum.
You can scoff, but the 3 On the Buses movies were box office hits. The first one, On the Buses, was Britain's top box office film at the time, surpassing even the James Bond movie Diamonds Are Forever. So put that one in your pipe and smoke it.
Pirates of the Caribbean was a box office hit, Filth, but it was still a pile of shite. On the Buses also falls in this category. And to claim it as superior to something like The Office is utterly ridiculous. You obviously just find Olive highly attractive.
It's only dullard twats like RTD who like The Office and his sycophantic fans. I mean, I can tell you with full confidence that after another 20 years or so, which one will be more remembered between The Office and On the Buses, and it won't be the RTD endorsed and revered shite. I can guarantee you that much.
Simple test, ask anyone under 30 about On the Buses, 30 won't know what you are talking about. The only people who will remember it in 20 years time will be the over 60s.
Nonsense. The On the Buses films are timeless, much like the Carry-On films, and people will always remember them, unlike dullard crap like The Office, which was a brief media flash-in-the-pan fad.
As I said, test out your theory on some under 30s and that will tell you how many people will remember it in 20 years time.
Well, I suggest you go out with your clipboard and ask people how many of them have heard of On the Buses, compared to those who have heard about The Office. When you ask most under 30s about The Office, they will think you are asking them questions about their workplace, rather than a TV production, whereas when you ask them about On the Buses, most of them will immediately conjure up images of Blakey in Flow, and start yelling out, "I'll get you, butler, I'll get you," rather than think you are talking about London transport depots. I think you'll find you are a very funny Rani, to think that a fringe cult program on BBC Two of only 12 episodes which very few people bothered watching bar newspaper critics is more remembered that a series of 3 nationwide box office smashing films and 7 seasons and 74 hit TV episodes of On the Buses. What an incredible plum you are. The Office was so rubbish they axed it after a mere 2 years.
The Office was not axed. You seen content to play fast and loose with the truth. Fact. Its creators brought it to a conclusion as they did not want it to go on too long like On the Buses did. For example, point it was not a fringe BBC Two program, the Christmas specials were shown on mainstream BBC One. Fact. This also meant there were more than just 12 episodes. If you ask anyone under 30 about On the Buses, they will just tell you they don't use public transport and certainly won't have heard of these Z-list characters you refer to. Can you tell us how many awards On the Buses won? Anything to compare with the 2001 South Bank Comedy of the Year Award or the Royal Television Society Programme Award 2003. Time to light that pipe of yours, Rob.
Wow, a whole 2 episodes shown on one of the main channels? What a mainstream presence The Office was blessed with. Very happy, and of course it was axed after 2 series. The reason why the creators couldn't take it any further was because it quite simply didn't catch the public's imagination and the format was too limited. In other words, it was a minor fringe cult hit, rather than the mainstream success On the Buses was. There weren't the backslapping hands in each other's pockets meaningless industry awards you talk about when On the Buses was transmitted. However, it was a popular hit lasting 7 seasons and 72 episodes, and the 3 feature films it spawned were box office hits, the first one outselling the James Bond movie of that year. Do you honestly think, if they made a film of that boring humdrum Americanized format crap of The Office, it would outsell the most recent James Bond film, you fool? As the war chief once said in the War Games, no, what a stupid idiot you are. Keep this idiocy up, and I think you will win some awards soon, for Best Comedy Act.